We're not mic'd at all.
Okay.
Hello, my loves. Hello, everybody. We are doing an impromptu book cover reveal. I'm really excited about this.
For your book. You can't wait.
This is Tanya Lee.
Hey, guys.
For those of you who don't know who she is my soul sister, my best friend, book editor, book photographer. She's the one that does the beautiful photo for those of you on TikTok who are already seeing the picture of the book cover. That would be her. Well, we have decided to go live. We are in Lapeer. Is that how you see it?
Lapeer. I think that's how you say it. I don't know. I feel bad because I've been in Michigan for 2 years and I still don't know how to pronounce it.
We're in Michigan. I think it's Lapeer, Michigan is where we are. We came into this area for a live event that we did over the weekend. But we decided that we were going to do the book cover reveal together since she was such an intricate part of this book that I had to do it with her. So we thought we would just pop on tonight and show you guys the book cover, reveal. Obviously, for TikTok, it's my background, so you guys are already seeing parts of it.
Well, hold up. Before you reveal it, even though TikTok is seeing it, do you feel like you need to tell a story about this a little bit, about the cover?
About the cover or the book?
The cover and the book. I mean, they kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah.
So.
Well, they're two very different stories.
Well, not really. I mean, you can talk about your book, but the whole story of it is...
You can tell this is not planned at all.
Finding the Holy Grail. This is me being producer. Finding the Holy Grail, but also the fact that, like, it was not predicted as the way you want it, with expectations being broken.
Oh my God. Right? The book the same. The book was the same. Well, okay, so the book, the Holy Grail, that word, that term came to me in the middle of the night. I literally was woken up by spirit in the middle of the night, and I got up, and there was this sticky pads by my bed, and I got up and I wrote down 3 things. I wrote down Holy Grail, shipping containers, which I assumed would be for me moving to an island.
I didn't know that part.
Yeah. And the third term was spiritual school, which is something that I already have, but I'm going to be developing on a much bigger scale. And I knew the minute I wrote down the term Holy Grail that it was going to be a book, but I had no idea what I was going to write at that point, because this was 2016 that I wrote that term down. I hadn't even written Become Your Own Superhero yet. And so that term never left me. And then as my downloads continued and my modalities developed and I healed more of my own story, the book started naturally coming, and I just started writing it. And it completely is way different than the original writing tenfold. So anybody who got really early access to the original manuscript, it's not even close to the same book. Not even close. But it really is a story of how I turned shit to gold. It really is. It's about me turning a life filled with trauma and grief and abuse and neglect and abandonment, and all the things that we grow up and awaken and, realize one day how messed up we are. I literally transformed that, not just on my own, but with spiritual guidance. Like, I would be on the floor of my closet in tears, begging spirit to help me and give me. What are you doing?
I'm trying to fix you on TikTok because no one can see you. There we
go. I would be on my closet floor, like crying, being like, please help me navigate this. Help me get through this. And I would get these crazy and insane downloads of information, and I would put them to work and I would put them into practice, and whatever came of that, it would be either like this worked and it stayed, or it didn't work and I never messed with it again. But the things that worked, that changed my life, that helped me transcend that pain, is what was put in this book. And none of it was expected. None of it was anything that I thought it was going to be. Like, I never thought this is what this book was going to be about, because it really is an interwoven mix of my story and the guidance that literally healed me and led me through it. So it's a mix of channeled messages and the teachings, but through my eyes, how I put it into place. So fast forward, this year I went to the UP of Michigan to see Tanya, And we had other things we were doing, but we decided we were going to do the photo shoot up there because she has, you know, beautiful outdoors.
It's amazing out there.
It is like,
I live in a vacation area.
yeah, waterfalls and, you know, beautiful, just beautiful outdoor scenes. And I seriously had an expectation and a vision for what this book cover is going to be. I had special ordered this dress. It was like white lace, long sleeve. It was going to be fairy lights underneath it. Ordered it 2 months in advance. Shit never shipped. We're getting 6 weeks out, and I'm like, man, this thing hasn't even shipped. Tanya, what do I do? Like, do a backup dress. Okay. So I order a backup dress to be sent to her house, thinking, okay, worst case scenario, we'll go with this dress. It'll be at her house. Okay, go on the trip at her house, still hadn't even shipped. I'm starting to like stress out because this damn dress has not, and then it's shipped, but it says scheduled to be delivered and it wasn't delivered.
Which is welcome to the UP.
Right. So no dress. And she lives in even smaller town than I do, where she has a Walmart. That's it.
That's a lot.
I know. I at least had a Ross and a TJ Maxx and a Belts. Not that I would have found what I was looking for in any of those stores, but I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? So I went and bought, I don't know, I bought like ridiculous amount. What I bought 8 yards.
Yeah, you bought way more than that you needed.
I bought 8 yards of white material and like a yard or 2 of white chiffon. And we decided to make a toga dress.
Which is absolutely fine for me because I've been a portrait photographer for over 20 years. So I was very comfortable with fabric and making it whatever. But here's the best part about this whole thing, guys. So Johanna's book is all about trusting and allowing yourself to go with the flow. And here she was being tested of this, you know, as being, you know, that she was like, I have to trust you. And I'm like, we got this, because I was in my element. So I like, there's going to be nothing wrong with this because I do portraits, I do candids. It's what I do. It's what I love. And she had to trust me on that. And
they are trying to crawl up. They're trying to crawl up the chiffon. And I'm like, I'm very clairaudient. So what that means is I can hear regular things like my neighbors in my house, my apartment's made out of brick. I can hear everything they say. Like, I don't have to even try. Over the TV, I can hear everything they say. I'm like, oh, I'll be able to hear. That waterfall was deafening. So we already have the waterfall that's deafening. On top of that, she's trying to yell at me to look a certain way and move my hair or my face. And all I'm watching is that these crawdads are going to crawl up and like start trying to like snip at me or whatever they do with their claws. I was like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. Oh. And we felt so dirty in the water. So we were supposed to take this. So my original shot of the book cover wasn't even close to what we ended up doing. But at one point, she was going to superimpose. Is that the right word?
Yeah, that's right. Composite. Yeah.
Water flowing out of the chalice. And so I was going to be in the water, and there was going to be water flowing out of the chalice. So where we were, we didn't do it there. We went to a second location. We ran out of light, but we got to that location and I got in the water and I was like, I just couldn't do it. I couldn't go crotch down. I couldn't do it. I was like, I can't do it. I can't put my regions down there. Just, it's not happening. I couldn't do it.
So keep in mind, through this whole experience, I kept telling her, I feel like we're getting malaria.
Oh my God.
Why does it feel so stagnant out here? And now I know that area. I mean, I walk to that area. I don't go in the water, but it felt stagnant. It definitely did.
In the second location, the water looked dirty.
Yeah.
It looked way dirtier than the waterfall area.
Right.
So anyway, I'm like, it looks like I'm trying to take a poop because I'm like hovering over the water holding the chalice.
That didn't make the book cover.
It didn't make the book cover. I couldn't do it. So anyway, we're like, okay, we're out of light. We're going to have to work with what we got. So I get out of the water. And at this point, the whole dress is just dropped because the water had gotten.
It basically disintegrated.
Yeah.
Like there's no other to describe it. And luckily, because I live in the middle of nowhere,
nobody was there.
Nobody was there, so it was no big deal. And she had Spanx on, so it's not like it was.
So I just dropped the dress and put my shorts on, and we moved on. So we get back to her house later, and we both are like, we got to shower. Like we just feel so dirty.
Yeah.
So we shower, and her neighbor comes over, just to play us some tunes on his guitar, because that's just the kind of neighborhood we're in at this point.
It was my guitar. He was tuning it for me. He brought it over.
Who comes over and is like, let me sing you a song on my guitar?
The Midwest people. They're very friendly.
The Midwest
people are very friendly.
He legit sang us a song on his guitar.
It was pretty cool.
Or on her guitar. So he comes over and he's like, I tuned your guitar. And he's playing us a little song, and he's like asking us about our day.
Hey, Meredith. Hey, Corey.
So we tell him, what we did. And he's like, so did you know that I built these staircases, that go down to the waterfall? Right. And what did you say? You're like, yes, because didn't you already know that or something?
Well, he told me that he did construction out there, and he goes, but did you know that it is known for...
Well, not yet, because he said, does it still smell?
Oh, yeah, that's what he did.
He's like, does it still smell? And we're like, yeah, it did smell a little bit. And then he's like, that's when he's like, did you know that is a sewage runoff? And I'm like, what?
And I was like, oh my God, that's perfect.
No, I'm like, I could have gone the whole rest of my life not knowing that we were just taking photographs in a sewage runoff. I was literally taking pictures and shit.
And I said, listen, your whole point of this book is turning shit to gold. And I said, and I can do that with photography.
So we literally took a photo shoot.
Yeah. We did.
In shit water. It was sewage runoff.
You cleaned yourself.
I did.
Look how great. And do you want to show them the actual the
book?
Yeah, this is.
Well, I'm gonna share. I think I can share screen.
You can share.
I'm gonna share a screen with a clean photo. But here is the book cover. You do it.
Here. So you can see better here from this.
Yeah.
And then for those on TikTok, you can see it already because you have the behind.
Well, you have to move your head.
Well, they can see it on TikTok.
Yeah.
So I'm not worried about it. So this is a galley print, guys. This is the galley print. So this is, it's got not for sale yet because she's getting these printed. But you can see here, An awesome, amazing graphic artist, friend of mine, Andrea. I can't pronounce her last name.
I'm going to be able to pronounce her last name. I don't know.
I'm going to say Fachowski. I think that's right. She's probably going to laugh on this. Since she's been married, I can never say her last name, but she did this for us, which is amazing. So
yeah, and it's got the gold flecks
mm-hmm.
on the side and the marbling on the back.
Yeah.
It's awesome. And it's a pretty hardy book.
It is. It's hardy, guys. It looks good. Look at that.
I know.
Sneak peek.
All my words. Let me see if I can share screen. Oh God. I've never shared screen.
Oh, you haven't done it yet on here. You might not be able to then if you have to set up some so here, let me do this while you're I can't do that because you're password protected. There you go.
Shouldn't be. It shouldn't have been.
Go in Chrome tab.
Okay.
And then you're going to share it where? It's on your Windows?
It's on my...
Well, you don't want to share an entire screen. You want to do window. You have it open?
I will in a second.
Bear with us, guys. She didn't have it open yet. So anyway, there you go. Maybe we'll be able to post it now. She will share it.
Okay, so now I can just hit that.
And share.
Okay. Why isn't it showing up? Follow 3 steps.
You talk.
Follow 3 steps. No 3 steps. Oh, Lord. So anyway, the book comes out November 11th, 11/11. So you will be able to get it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, all of those things. And the cool thing is when you buy the book, and obviously when you read it, there's going to be information in the book where you can go to my website and you will be able to access free workbooks that will help you have, like, instead of it being in my perspective, you will be able to print out the workbooks and use them for yourself in your own healing journey. And
for updates, you're gonna have to wait for this.
Yeah, just cancel that. And in the book there is also transmissions, and those transmissions are from Master Metatron and Archangel Gabriel, and they are the transmissions that were given to me, that they led me through. They were never really they weren't originally intended for me to, like, whatever, but I have been given permission to put them in the book and to share them. And so I've audibly recorded them. You will be able to download them once you've purchased the book and be able to use those on your own journey and access, that information. So you get so much more than just the book. And so I'm super, super excited to put it out in the world, because this is the first time, you guys, that, I wrote this. This should have been done. I shouldn't say shouldn't have. It could have been done a long time ago. It took me a year to write majority of it. It stopped. I had about 1 chapter left to go, and I stopped writing it because I had so much fear of putting it out in the world. And then I spent the next year healing the fear, because this is the first time I've really ever shared and spoken my truth about what really happened in my childhood and in my life. So not just my childhood, but I've been married 3 times. I don't make that a secret. I've had 3 very narcissistic husbands. I've repeated patterns, and all of the trauma and everything that's gone with it has been in there. And my last husband was my twin flame. So there was a lot. There's just been 40 years of trauma, honestly. And it's the first time I've really spoken my truth. And as a child, even a lot of my friends who grew up with me and my extended family who knew me, they knew the version of what I wanted them to know. My friends knew the version of my life that I wanted them to know. Even the ones that came in and out of my house only knew what I wanted them to know. We're really good at wearing masks and letting people only see what we want them to see and putting that out there. And so this is the first time where I've stripped away all of the masks and just really put the the raw truth out there. And a lot of people are not going to be okay with that. And the majority of my perpetrators are still alive. And some of them, including my sexual abuser, doesn't even know that I'm aware of the abuse because I was such a small child when it happened. And so that person's going to become aware that I know. And so I had a lot of fear of putting my truth out there in the world because I knew that I was going to get backlash, and I knew I was going to get people who were going to be on the defense because they don't want to look bad. And, that's too bad for them because I worked through that fear, and this is my truth. And this, what they used and wanted to put me down and to make make me less than, has actually made me more valuable. All of that trauma and all of that pain, they used it to disempower me, and all it did was empower me. All it did was make me more valuable, and this is the living proof of that. And so I'm super excited to finally be able to put it out. So we had a year of me writing it, a year of working through the fear, and about a year of editing it and rewrites.
I think formatting it was probably the biggest challenge with this book. But one thing I would like to say, as the one who edited it and seen the rewrites and seen the growth of Johanna as a writer, and I edited her other book as well. You guys, this isn't just words on paper. Everything is solely infused with so much energy and channel messages that you will get a lot from this, but also it's very poetic. And as an artist, it's something that I really commend you on, being because I do read a lot. I've edited a lot. I've reviewed a lot.
She's a huge reader, editor.
And it is something that I was so proud of you to be so authentic on, and to just allow yourself to be. Because one of the things, as me, as a teacher, as someone who's an artist and an entertainer, it is so important to just be playful and be able to get into the creativity. And it's hard sometimes to get to that raw moment. And she nailed it. She was able to allow herself to be extremely vulnerable. And the points where she is describing the breakdowns, guys, you have to understand it's happening so quickly, even though it's longer in chapters and words, that these moments are happening so quickly. And she does a really good job at showing you that even though she's slowing it down for you, kind of like in a slow motion of like being able to see stuff, you're really being able to digest it so that you realize that these things happen in seconds.
Yeah.
And those moments happen in seconds, even though she's describing it in a much larger variety of that you would be able to do on your own. So
like if you read it, you think, oh, I don't have 20 minutes to do this. Well, this happened. I did this in a minute,
yeah,
or sometimes less.
Yeah.
But I have to slow it down so you guys can understand the process. I feel like that's just there's such a mental wraparound that has to happen sometimes.
I think people get really, especially when they're going through depression or abuse or trying to figure themselves out, what happens is they want to take steps. They want to say, how can I fix this? When they don't realize that these steps happen really instantaneously. It's about following your gut. It's about following your heart. And she navigates you through that. So the navigation portion is what I truly appreciated, because I didn't have that when I went through my own. And even going through this now, like, because we're never awoken completely, guys. You got to remember that you're always going to learn. You're always going to trip
up. The
up.
more awake you are, the more you realize the more you don't know.
But what you do become is aware. So it becomes quicker. So for example, if you are in a relationship that is toxic and you go and find that you're in the same pattern, you'll do though, wait a minute.
Mm-hmm.
I've done this before, but guess what? That one will only last 6 months. It won't last as long as 13 or 15 years. Okay. Right. And you're not supposed to judge yourself on that shit. But that's the point that is really nice to have, because a lot of people don't have that support. And the only way, especially as a light worker or however you want to profound yourself as, it's to teach people. It's to be able to say, hey, I relate. And you do a really, really good job with this.
Well,
I love you for being able to be authentic on there.
Well, and it's also nerve-wracking for me because I'm dyslexic. I have astigmatism. I don't spell worth a shit. And I wrote a book. I wrote a couple of books. And the thing about being a channeler, and you could say it's more poetic. For me, it's channeling, but I do, there is a poetic element of it because sometimes people say, why do you always rhyme? And it's just like, that's just the way it comes through me.
Because you're a rapper?
Because I'm a rapper. I'm Tupac's daughter. If I could be, Anyway, it just comes out that way. And so some people are like, oh, that's a run-on sentence. It's not. It's just it's just the way that it comes out. It's very poetic. But when I got my first galley copy, I decided to read it because listen, her and I looked at this book so many times that we were blinded by it. We couldn't see what we couldn't see. And so we got to a point where we're there, we printed, and I decided I'm going to read it cover to cover like it's not my book, like I didn't write it. And this was me going, oh my God, this is so good. And I was crying one minute, laughing the next minute. It took me on a journey. And it's funny to say that, but it's not, because when you're channeling, even if I'm channeling my higher self or I'm channeling my inner child collective, you're in such a flow that I don't remember half of what I wrote.
You won't when you're channeling.
No. And so when I wrote it back, I'm like, oh my God, this is so good.
But that is being a true artist. To me, a lot of artists do that, where they'll be like, oh my God, your words mean this much. But a lot of them, when they're in the moment or they're feeling, because feeling's so important, and you describe that really well in your book. When you're feeling, you're just going with the flow. You're not allowing anything because it's your inner child. So you're just kind of like being authentic. You're just allowing that portion of you to like really take over. And it takes a while,
It does.
So that's how sometimes when, and I never, the whole saying of never judge a book by its cover. Well, I feel like you can judge this cover with the book because everything around it was a metaphor.
Yeah.
Literally was a metaphor. So we broke that saying.
Yeah.
We did. We broke it because of what everything it meant. It was really a big deal.
Patty says, Patty, sitting on the beach, looking at the stars, feeling the feels, and got a message you were alive. Feel your energy. Thanks for being you.
Oh, that was nice.
Yay that you're on the beach. The other thing about this book, and for those of you who are new to following me or don't know me that well, is, one of my superpowers is the language of light. And what that means is that, yes, I can speak light language and I can do codes and I can do all these things, but really my words, when I speak them, are light encoded, which means they have a transmission. They have packets of information that go right to your heart. So you could read this book and just read it through and think, okay, but you received a complete heart transmission by reading this book. And so on the back, I say, this is a living transmission. And what that means is every time you read it, it's going to resonate at a deeper level. It's going to hit something new that it didn't hit before. It's going to awaken something in you, because an activation is just me taking my light and shining it on something that already exists inside of you. That is what an activation is. Nobody is giving you anything when they activate you. So by reading my words and my story is going to open your heart, and it's going to make you laugh, and it's going to make you cry, and it's going to make you you're going to empathize. I think there's something for everybody in this book at all levels. I think there's something in here that's going to, I can relate to that. And that's on purpose. Like, that's to open your heart. And then the words, they're light encoded. So there's packets of information on there that are going to awaken something inside of you. So just reading the book is going to be a healing experience. Whether you take the practices and make them your own or not, it's going to do something for you. And that's one of my favorite things about this book.
My favorite part of this book is that it's opening so much more for what's to come.
Oh,
because it's about this much. It's about this much of her actual story. And as a storyteller, I said to her, this is where it's just the beginning. It's just the beginning for you. So you'll have multiple multitude of stories coming for you that is going to be more and more to be revealed.
Oh,
So,
and if you were to see my notepad where I take notes for books, there's already 3 books that are midway in the works that I have, because I just, in my notepads, I just make notes for the books and the stories. But I didn't go deep into the abuse. I didn't go deep into my story. I just kind of introduced you to me and into my story and into the things that I experienced. And this was more of my awakening story
mhm.
than anything. This was a more of, because when I say woke up, I never really was fully asleep. I've always been, what's the right word for this?
I think you were programmed to think you were asleep, because
Yeah.
that's what happens a lot with us.
I mean,
as-
I was an avid, I mean, I was the girl who came home from high school and got excited to watch Sylvia Brown on Montel Williams. You know,
Who didn't?
I was obsessed with psychics. I was obsessed with aliens. I always looked at everybody who was doing the mundane shit and was like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
You know, I may not have been able to verbalize it, but that's how I was. But I was still going with the motions of most of people who were unconscious. And I had a lot of unconsciousness. So when I fully awoken and became aware, like more aware than I was, the things that led up to that, what it did for me was the true awakening, which was it pulled me out of denial. My core wound is denial. And so what that did was it just ripped those veils of denial away. And I had a full blown flood of all the trauma I had repressed and denied, all of the memories that I had shut down. And it all came flooding back literally in an instant, and literally led me to the edge of suicide because it was so much. But then I was given that opportunity. And I talk about that in the book, and I was given that opportunity, and that could have been an off ramp for me. That could have been a door, a death door. That could have been a door where I exited, and I chose not to, and I chose to fight. And that's not an easy choice to make. Not at all. And I chose to take it. And, you know, I had surgery this year in January. And part of my life's purpose is to put out books. And I knew this was a big part of my life's work. And I had to finish this before I went into surgery. I had such a moment of, oh my God, I could die. And I remember telling her, I sent her the book, the first round to edit the day before I went into surgery. And I said, if I die, you have to publish this.
You know, no pressure on me. None whatsoever, guys. Don't worry about it.
But that's pretty much the story of Holy Grail.
So the actual date of this coming out
Is November 11th.
November 11th.
11/11. And that's
For you twin flamers, 11/11.
Well, 11/11 is such a when you're
It's a
brand
huge
new
portal.
on your awakening journey, 11/11 is like the first number everybody sees. I'm not sure why that is, but it tends
That
to
and
be
333, 222, 444 are like the
I
big.
think those come later. I
ones.
swear, majority of people see 11/11 or 111.
111.
The
I would
ones
say,
are
yeah.
always potent, you know.
Well, because it makes sense. It's part of the matrix, so you kind of
Yeah.
see that as the first thing. And
Yeah.
I actually see it as the magician. So as a tarot reader, because 0 is the fool, 1 is the magician. So
Okay.
I just see it as the magician, like, here you are, you're manifesting.
So anyway, where were we going with that?
Nothing.
Oh,
We're giving
11/11.
the date of when it's
Yeah.
going.
So it'll be on Amazon. You'll be able to get it in paperback and ebook. Ebook will be available as well.
Do you have your list where they can sign up for the when it's actually out, so they are reminded?
I had it up, but I took it down.
Oh,
It's in the. If you're on TikTok, it's in my profile link. You can just look at the little circle of my face, and you can. It's right there. When you copy paste that into the. If you go to for those on TikTok, just hit the little circle of my picture, and
it's just
what did you do?
I hit the wrong button because I forgot I was on a Mac.
And you can click the link and
it's here.
There you go. Just click on it. And you'll be able to access it. Hotel Wi-Fi, what are you going to say?
God, slow.
You're just, no, you're just hitting the wrong one.
Just hit Control V.
There you go.
It's just so slow. It is so slow. We are in a hotel right now. It's one of the reasons why I haven't gone live yet, because I have to do readings. So
Oh my gosh. So anyway, you can click the link and sign up, and you'll be the first to know and be notified, because even though we say it's available 11/11, that's the day I'm going to hit publish. So it might actually not be.
it should be. I mean, it should.
Sometimes it takes a few
day,
hours
yeah.
or a day to go
Yeah.
through. I know I remember that just from
The last
becoming a
one. Yeah,
superhero.
it was like a day or something.
So anyway, you'll be the first to know and have that. But on the email list, you will also be the first. If you sign up on the email list, you'll be the first to know if I do any virtual events. And I am still considering and figuring out what I want to do. So I have thought about doing, like a 4-hour virtual event for anybody who has purchased the book, where we do live Q&A and do live transmissions and things like that. So I'm still debating on what I want to do and when I want to do it. I want to give people time to buy the book and to be able to read it. So you want to be on that email list just for that, because you want to get notified if there's any events that are for people who have purchased the book, because it will only be for anybody who's purchased the book.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of benefit to being on that email list.
Get the book.
Get the book. But again,
awesome.
Here's the cover. I wish I could show you guys, but if you're following me on YouTube or Facebook, I will be posting an actual image tomorrow. But here it is. It's finally revealed. This is one of my favorite photos, because I'm literally drinking from the golden chalice. And so funny, when I was going through the airport, I didn't put that in my check luggage because I was so afraid of losing it. I had it on my carry-on, and I took it out because I knew they were going to pull my bag otherwise. And the security guy picks it up and he goes, "Holy Grail!" And I was
exactly what it was.
And I was like,
it's awesome.
"Yes, I have my book, and I'm going to photography." And he's like, "No way!" It was like this epic moment in the airport. But the Holy Grail is the magic pill. It's the thing that everybody's seeking. And I know for me, I was like, where's the one course, the one teacher, the one pill that's going to fix me?
Yeah. I was in the search for it too. And it's one of the things that I think it's just the key thing our logical mind puts on there, saying that there's one thing to fix it, and it's not one thing. It's not. But that's the whole point of the journey, is to be able to unveil it. And every single one of you has your own journey.
Yeah.
We may have parallels. We may have the same thing of like, oh, it's been kind of like the stages of like how you go through grief, but it's never the same. So if there's any advice I can give to any of you, stop comparing and start just seeing and looking at other people's perceptions, because it's all about feeling.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. And I talk about that a lot in the book too. Mm-hmm. And so while I reveal my Holy Grail in this book, it may not be your Holy Grail. And I give lots of examples of that. And so I'm leading you, and this is what I'm known for, by the way. If anybody's private mentored with me, you guys know this. I'm known for guiding people to the shore of their own truth, of what's correct for them, what's alignment for them, because it's not our job as teachers, shamans, way showers, any energy healers. It's not our job to fix you. It's not our job to give you the answer. It's our job to guide you to the answer that's inside of you, because it is inside of you. But people get sick of hearing that. Oh, it's within you. It's within you. And they go, but I can't access it. Well, that's my superpower, is to be able to guide you to that's within you. And so that is something that I'm known for. And so while I show you my path to me, I think I also show you your path to you.
Mm-hmm. Really well.
Yeah. So anyway, I hope you guys will pick it up and read it and come back and share with me what you thought of it, because I would love to hear what every single one of you thinks of this book after you read it. Like, that's more exciting to me than anything.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is.
How did it change your life? Please tell me. All right. Do we have anything else? Did I miss any comments?
Vicky from TikTok says hello. Corey's on here. Just a bunch of hellos and support.
Ah,
Thank you all for the love and support for Johanna.
yes. And I just want to do a quick shout out for all of my diehard followers who have been sharing my quotes before they've even read the book. I love you. And that means more to me than any dollar amount that ever could be given. When people share my content and support me in that way, it touches my heart in a way that I can't even give words to. So I just want to give a shout out to all of those people. You know who you are. And I love you. And I'm just so grateful to Corey, who is my right-hand person, and all of my avid supporters who have been with me. Some of you guys have been with me since 2015. So I just love you so much. And you guys have been hearing me talk about writing a book since 2017 when it started.
She did it. She wrote it.
It's finally done. So you'll be hearing for the next 4 years about the next book, I'm sure. So anyway, that's it for us for tonight. Thank you guys for the impromptu live and cover reveal. I love you all so much, and I hope that you will pick it up, and I hope you will read it, and I hope that it will awaken something magical in you. So good night.
Good night, guys. Bye.